Good evening, people. I am Craig, and welcome back to Cruising on Crypto. Well, the thumbnail pretty much says it all. We have been in one hell of a face-ripping bear market when it comes to the rebased DAOs. And as I've said in previous episodes, the rebased DAOs, the OHM Forks, are on the spectrum of safest thing you can invest in crypto to most aggressive and most risky. I've always said these are on the far risky end. You know, they're quoting you super high, mind-blowing APYs, but you're also taking a risk that they're devaluing their own coin by giving out so many reward coins. And that is exactly what we've run into in the last week to week and a half. It's just been wow. All I can say is wow. I mean, things like Spartacus, things like Jade, things like, well, pretty much every project I can possibly think of has gone down a lot. Some of the better ones, like I'm going to use an example of Templar, have not gone down nearly as much. Obviously, Templar invests in Time Wonderland as part of their treasury. They're big into Time Wonderland. And Time Wonderland, more blue chip, hasn't fallen nearly as much. So as you can say, even within the rebased DAOs, there's the more blue chip, safer ones, and then there's the super aggressive ones like Jade and Spartacus and Nemesis and some of the other ones that had given really high or were giving really high APYs and therefore are on the even riskier side. So what I want to show you is the worst case scenarios. And I'm going to use Templar DAO. In full disclosure, I am a big investor in Templar DAO. It's my biggest bag when it comes to these rebased DAOs. It hasn't fallen as much as the other ones, but I want to give you the worst case scenario. I'm going to come up with the true risk-free value of a coin. Like they always say backing on all these sites, but backing means the total value of treasury divided by the circulating supply. Well, the total value of the treasury includes liquidity pool tokens with their own native token in there. So if the native token falls, then the liquidity pool tokens fall. And so then you can't really count that as backing if you're backing it with some of your own coin, right? So yeah, I'm going to give you the worst case scenario. What is backing these coins? Mostly the stable coins are the ones you can count 100% on and discount most of the rest of the coins in the treasury. Get you that really bottom line risk-free value and then say, what if all of our rebases fall to that absolute worst case scenario coin price and we substantially cut the APY that they're quoting us now and say worst case scenario with the APY. If you continue to stake for, I'd say at least 4 months or more, you will still make a profit, even in the worst case scenario. So I'm going to show you that tonight, and hopefully that'll give you a little bit of, take the stress level down a bit. It's kind of fun with math, so let's get into it. But I think when you're done watching this, you're going to think, I'm glad Craig showed me that because now I can sleep at night, because otherwise you're just seeing those 80% drops in coin price, and you're thinking, I'm going to lose my shirt. And yes, if you sell at the bottom, you will lose your shirt. If you keep staking and keep stacking coins, you will probably come out making a pretty hefty profit, even with terrible conditions. So let's get into it. Okay, so here is the home screen of Templar DAO. As you can see, they are still paying a mind-blowing 351 million% APY. And you're like, is that sustainable? And I've said this in previous episodes. Hell no. You cannot pay 351 million% APY for an entire year. They're in that growing the treasury stage. Consider these super high APYs kind of marketing for all these rebase projects. They'll slam these big numbers in front of you and say, if you stay in with us for a whole year, this is the rate of return you're going to get. And there's no way they can pay that out for an entire year, or we would all be multi-billionaires with very little investment. So I've always said that. I'm sticking to that. These numbers are not realistic for the long term, but we're going to show you how if you start at that level and you keep lowering the rate every month, you're still going to make a crazy amount of money. So first thing I want to do is show you where I come up with the risk-free value per coin. Now, obviously, if you look here, they always post the backing per coin, in this case, backing per TEM. And really all that is the total treasury value, this number here, which is all of the stuff in the treasury, divided by the circulating supply, 13,357 coins. And that's how they come up with this backing value. But as you will hear, if you talk to anybody who's been in these rebases, it can go below that backing value. No problem at all. When things go bad, like Spartacus has had, and Jade has had, and some other ones have had, They go below that because that is the total value of all the Treasury. And we're going to show you where they come up with that. Now, Templar is different because it also invests in Time Wonderland and OHM. Most of them don't invest in a different OHM, but they do. So we got a little bit of extra math to do. But I'm going to show you where most of the time you can find your true risk-free value of most of these rebase projects. So pull up their bond section, and you're going to see the purchased area here. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can see it a little easier. The bond section will say purchased. This usually, except for Templar where they invest in OHM and Time Wonderland, this total is the Treasury value. So the bonds are, what they say is purchased is the total value of Treasury. So when you go through here, you can see MIM is a stable coin. You can count that 100%. BUSD is a stable coin. You can count that 100%. MIM is again a stable coin, count that 100%, but the TEM side of this liquidity pool is their own in-house coin. Can't give that 100%, right? Because as TEM falls, then the value of this liquidity pool token falls. So we got to discount that. I'm going to show you a spreadsheet in a second. Again, TEM, can't count 100% on that with BUSD. Yes, you can count on that one. MIM, you can count on that 100%. BNB, Binance's coin. It's a big coin. It's the number 3 market cap coin. It's not as volatile or as risky as TEM would be. So you can count it a little bit more than you can count on TEM, but you can't count on it 100% because if we go into a bear market, BNB is going to fall. So it's not like a stable coin. It's not 100% safe. And then the final one's BUSD. So that's the bond side of it. And I'm going to just show you. Let's go back to the home screen here. And you're going to see that the total Treasury value right now is now $3,393,000. And I'm going to bring over my spreadsheet. That number has probably changed since I made this spreadsheet, but check out how I've come up with a risk-free value per coin. So you've got all of those numbers. These were right at the time I did the spreadsheet. They might have changed slightly, but again, this is the total value of MIM, BUSD, TEM, MIM, TEM, BUSD, MIM. And you can see this number here is how much value I'm giving to it. Now this is discretionary, but anything that's 100% stablecoin, I'm giving 100% of the value as rock solid. When I go TEM, MIM, we got TEM, 50, like it's this number divided by 2, usually for a stablecoin, but it's this number divided by 2, so half of it goes to the MIM coin, which is stable, but the other half, which is TEM, I'm only giving it a 40% of its current value as real value. Same with TEM BUSD, 100% value for the BUSD side of it, only 40% for the TEM side. It was the total of it is just over $1 million. The MIM get 100%. The BNB, I'm giving it 50%. Some people might think that's a little low, like BNB is not going to be that volatile, but I wanted to be super conservative. BUSD, of course, 100%. Time, again, like a BNB, it's the blue chip OHM, and it's also backed by their own stable coin. So I'm giving it 50% of its value, and OHM. Time and OHM are both 50%, and BNB. TEM, I'm giving only 40%, just because it's a newer coin, it's more volatile, it's more risky, although as I'll show you, it is backed by a lot of stable coins. So the total Treasury at the time I did this was $3,374,000, which is very close to what I just told you it was in real time. When you factor in all the value of the first coin and whatever second coins, you get a risk-free Treasury value of $2,520,000 from the original $3,374,000. So you can see the risk-free value or the backing they were saying on the home screen was $254. And when you just take the risk-free value divided by the circulating supply, it's only $188. And presently, TEM is trading at $823. So you can see, in the worst case scenario, TEM could fall all the way down to that risk-free backed value. And you're like, well, I'm never going to make money if it goes from 823 down to 188, Craig. So what are you talking about? No matter what, you can make money. Well, let's go back to the spreadsheet. So down here, well, as you can see here, they start at a very high APY of what it was, 355 million %. And this little factor is I'm going to assume that there's no way they can keep that going. So I made a very aggressive deduction of every month starting from now, they're going to lower the APY by 60% every month. So next month it'll be 142 million, the next month it'll be 56 million, the next month it'll be 22 million, the next month it'll be 9 million, and so on and so forth. It actually gets right down to 5,973% APY. which they're going to do better than Wonderland. They've got Wonderland in their treasury. They've committed that they will always have a higher APY than Time Wonderland. I believe them, but I'm giving you the absolute worst case scenario that by 12 months from now, the APY on TEM will only be 5,973%. But look what happens to the average. Your average, because this calculator I'm about to show you here, when you go back to the top and you say blessings, that's their calculator, and they will show you, I'll put 10 coins in here, they will show you the present APY. But I'm going from the spreadsheet and saying that I'm not going to use months of calculations using today's APY. I just don't think it is sustainable. And I'm giving you that ultra conservative, lowering all the way down to 5,900%. But look at the average. After 3 months, for the first 3 months, you're still averaging 144 million. After 6 months, you're still averaging 84 million. After 9 months, you're still averaging 59 million. And over 12 months, even with this crazy low APY at the end, you're still averaging 45 million percent APY. And that's why I say, if we start super high and they keep lowering it, which we expect they will, the point is if you can get 2 or 3 months of those crazy APYs, you are so far ahead of the game when it comes to the average for the time frame you're looking at that you will still have a very high APY. So I'm going to go with the 45 million percent for a year, or 6 months is 84 million. We'll start with that, and then I'll get even more conservative. Okay, so we're starting with a price right now of $824, and we're going to lower the future value all the way down to the risk-free price of $189. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, over whatever time frame, more coins will be given out as rewards, so the number of outstanding circulating coins will increase. That's the denominator. But you have to remember, as people invest more money to get those new coins, the Treasury is getting bigger too. And you got to hope that the Treasury is making great returns off Time, Wonderland, OHM, and their other investments, because Templar is a hedge fund. They're investing in other projects. So it's not like you give them $1,000 and they just hold $1,000. They're going to take the $1,000, they're going to invest it, and they're going to make a really good rate of return in their investments. So the Treasury will grow, in my mind, at least as fast as the new money is coming in. So we're going for that really super conservative $189 for future value. So already we're looking at it going from $824 to some point down the road, and we'll change this slider to different months, to $189. Now, clearly the first default one is only 5 days. So you're saying it's gone from $824 to $189. So clearly you haven't had enough time to stack coins to make up for that massive drop in price. So you started off with $8,241 invested, and at the end of 5 days, you only have $2,323. So clearly that's what I was talking about. It's not timing the market, it's time in the market. The longer you can stake, the worst scenario can be and still make a profit. So if you only stay 5 days, you're screwed, okay? But if you go 3 months, let's go out to 90 days. 90 days. So the price has dropped from $824 to $189. You're making a lot of money. And I know what you're thinking. Craig, you haven't lowered the APY yet. So let's go back to the spreadsheet with the really conservative one I did. And you're going to see that the 3-month average was 144 million. So we're going to come back here. We're going to change this to 144 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 144 million. Still, even with this horrendous price drop, you're still going from $8,000 to $64,000. Okay, let's go out 6 months. So 182 days, about 182. There we are. Crazy, right? Now, I haven't lowered the APY yet, but we've still dropped to $189. Your $8,000 is now worth $2 million. Now, I know, you got to lower it because I use my ultra conservative lowering of APY every month. So after 6 months, you're down to 84 million percent as an average. I know you're thinking that's still crazy high, and we'll get into that. 84 million percent APY. So your $8,000 still goes to $1,700,000. I know what you're thinking, still crazy. So we're going to get into, just for fun, the longer you're in, the crazier the price can go. So we went out a whole year. That number's so big I don't even want to talk about it. It's like $1,587,000,000. Come on, not going to happen. Also, we're doing a year, so even by my conservative estimates on my spreadsheet here, 1 year, your average would be 45 million. So we got to bring this down to 45 million. Boom. 45 million. Still, you're making $850 million. Not going to happen, right? Let's just say not going to happen. So let's say, I'm just showing you where I got these numbers from my spreadsheet, right? Like I've already drastically reduced the APY every month all the way down to 5,900% by month 12. But let's just say you want to really go aggressively down. So instead of going down at the normal rate, let's say we go from 300 to 100 to 20 million to, well, let's just go right to 1 million. 1 million. And then let's just go 100,000. I'm really bringing this down. And let's just copy that. And let's copy that all the way to, I don't know, there. And then we're going to go even lower. We're going to say it goes down to 70,000, which is what Wonderland pays right now. We'll even go lower than that. We'll go 60,000. And we're going to end up at 40,000. Oh, well, it doesn't even matter at this point. Let's go to 10,000. So you can see, even though I'm like lopping off most of the APY, because you started at such a high number, your average over 3 months is 119 million, 6 months is 68 million, 9 months is 47 million, and for the whole year you averaged 36 million %. So that's what I'm getting at. You start at such a crazy high number. If you can just get that for a few months, like 355 to 100 to 20 in 3 months, dropping really, really fast, right? But I'm not even going to go that high. So we got 36 million as our worst case, and at 6 months, it's 68 million. I'm not even doing that. I'm going to go 1 million. 1 million % over 12 months, which I've shown you from the spreadsheet, is damn near impossible because you started at 355 million. So to get a 1 million average over 12 months means you pretty much had to have had 0 APY after month 2, right? To bring the average down. So you get my point. I'm bringing it as low as I possibly can. 1 million, if you do a whole year, $18 million. Go 6 months, $186,000. Bring it down even further. Let's not even do 1 million. Let's do 100,000% average over the 6 months. Now you're getting down to more realistic numbers. Okay, so you've averaged 100,000, which means we started at 355 million, which means every month from this month forward would have to be like 2,000% to average out to 100,000, or even probably 0% to average out to 100,000. Still, you go from $8,000 to $59,000. So all I'm getting is to show you is it's not about timing the market. Assuming you're confident the Rebase project will not collapse, you can count on just stay in the market. My thing is, if you can stay in the market 6 months, better a year, but let's just go with 6 months, and you get good APYs for a few of those months, you should be fine because they're going to pay you something in APY. They're not going to pay you 0. The whole project would have collapsed if the APY is 0. So there you go. Your average over the time is that. So I'm going to go with 500,000% average over whatever time frame we're talking about here. And as you can see, 8,000 to 132,000. I just want to see how short of a time do you need to stake at an average of 500,000 to just break even. So you've lost a crap ton. Again, the price has gone from 824 to 189. The shorter you get, that means the price went really down fast and you didn't have much time to stack. So this is like ultra worst case scenario. So if we let it go all the way down to $189, how little time do we have to stack in order to break even? And as you can see, we're getting down to about 2 months, right? 67 days. So if the average for 2 months was only 500,000, and I've just shown you it's 355 million, so to get an average of that low means month 2, month 3 must be almost no interest. 67 days, you more than broke even. So hopefully you got something from that if you take the absolute worst case scenario for your DAO, drop the TEM price or whatever one you're looking at all the way down to its risk-free backed level. And again, to get that, you just have to go up to the bond section. In most of them, They don't have Wonderland and OHM as another part of the Treasury. They just have the bonds. Just go into the bond section and do what I did. Create a little spreadsheet and say, I'm going to count 100% of the stable coins, and I'm only going to count 50% or 40%, whatever you want to pick, for the non-stable coin. Add up those values. That's the total value of the Treasury, the risk-free Treasury, and then divide by the circulating supply, and you will come out with your risk-free value per whatever rebase you're looking at. Whether you're looking at Spartacus, whether you're looking at Jade, one of these ones that have just been decimated. You've already taken the pain, and I'm in there. I have Spartacus, I have Jade. I am not happy. Believe me, I am not happy with how things are running. But all I'm saying is you've already written it down. Now you're pretty much, especially Spartacus, you're actually under the risk-free value, which I don't know how that's possible. They could just buy back the SPA from the stable coins and give everybody more money, but it is what it is. It's below risk-free value. So at this point, you've already taken the pain. You might as well sit there and stack coins until eventually you have so many coins that even if the price is terrible, you will make your money back and then some. So there you go. So hopefully you found that entertaining or informative, and most likely, if nothing else, if you're in the house of pain like we are now, you're probably thinking, well, at least Craig made me feel a little better that if I just stop looking at the price, just keep staking, keep stacking, I will be fine. With the only one caveat that you got to make sure the project you're in is not going to rug pull on you. But if that doesn't happen, as long as the developers seem legit, they're in the Discord, they're in the Twitter, they're talking about their roadmap in the future, and you feel like they really have a vested interest and they're putting in the time to continue to implement changes to improve the DAO, then you're pretty confident they're not a rug pull type of organization. Assuming that, and you know it's going to last through whatever we have coming, whether there's a bear market in crypto coming or not, you just look at your risk-free backed value, say, worst case scenario, it goes there and stays there the rest of the time, and just stack, 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 and you'll be fine. So if you found that informative, entertaining, hit the thumbs up button. It helps the YouTube algorithm suggest this to more people. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, because a lot of times I'm doing these videos and they're very time sensitive. I'm starting to get into more launchpad projects, which means they're very time sensitive. These things are going to launch soon and there's a pre-sale window and whatnot. That's the sort of thing you do not want to watch a week later, 2 weeks later, whenever you get around to it. You want to be notified the minute the episode is up. So that's why you need to hit the bell notification button. And that's it. So until next time, this is Craig signing off, wishing you happiness, health, and wealth in that order. Ciao for now.